The call came while I was standing in Catherine's empty study, staring at the dent her wedding ring had left on the desk. "Sir," the voice said, careful, bureaucratic, "this is Parks Canada. We need to discuss the attempted sale of your properties." Attempted? I didn't answer right away. I watched dust float through winter light. I thought of the way my son had smiled, too wide, too quick, when I handed him the deeds. I thought of my daughter's hand on my arm at the funeral, squeezing just a second too late. "I'm listening," I said. There was a pause, papers shifting, a throat cleared. "The cottage and the cabin fall under protected heritage land. The house borders it. There are easements, restrictions. You were informed of this in 1998. I had been. Catherine had insisted we keep the letters. Filed, indexed, untouched. They're trying to sell," the voice continued, "without disclosure. That's a problem." I closed my eyes. In my head I heard my lawyer again. Fight them. In my head I heard myself reply, give it all to them. I thanked the man, hung up. Then I laughed, not because it was funny, because it was perfect. They didn't wait a week after Catherine was buried. "We want it all," my daughter said, voice rehearsed. "The house, the cottage, the cabin." My son nodded, already counting rooms, already imagining exits. The lawyer's pen froze mid-note. He looked at me, then at them, then back at me with a warning behind his eyes. "They're entitled to—" "I know," I said, calm, steady. "They can have it." Shock flickered across their faces, relief chased it. No one noticed what didn't follow. No grief, no hesitation, no mention of their mother. I watched them that day, the way you watch strangers at an airport. Familiar shapes, unknown intentions. That night, alone, I replayed old moments with new light. Catherine insisting on separate accounts. Catherine locking filing cabinets. Catherine correcting me gently when I called the kids ours. I told myself I was tired. Grief does that. It invents ghosts. But suspicion is quieter. It doesn't shout. It waits. And it remembers everything. I became careful. I smiled at dinners, asked polite questions, let them talk. People always do when they think they've won. I pulled phone records under the guise of closing accounts, numbers repeated, years old, familiar area codes. I found emails Catherine had archived, not deleted. Practical, even in betrayal. I ordered a DNA test and told myself it was just paperwork, just curiosity, just peace of mind. At night, I lay awake, counting breaths, counting years, wondering when love turns into management, wondering how long I had been the help. The kids discussed renovations in front of me, open concepts, rentals, profit. I nodded. Inside, something slow and cold was assembling itself. Not rage, precision. The envelope arrived on a Tuesday, thin, white, final. I opened it at the kitchen table where Catherine used to drink her tea. I didn't sit down. Probability ratios, genetic markers, conclusions drawn with clinical indifference. Not mine, both of them. I folded the report once, twice, neatly. That evening I invited them over. No accusations, no raised voice. I slid the paper across the table. "What's this?" my daughter asked. "Confirmation," I said. My son read faster. His face collapsed inward, like a building losing its supports. Catherine's name surfaced between us without being spoken. They cried, explained, apologized. I watched and felt nothing. The lawyer called again 2 days later, panicked now. "They're furious," he said. "The sale's frozen. Parks Canada is involved. There may be penalties." I told him to relax. I met the kids at the cabin, the one they loved most, the one with the view. They arrived ready to argue, to threaten, to demand. I handed them copies of the letters Catherine had saved, maps, restrictions, protected status. "You knew?" my daughter whispered. "I always know," I said. The truth settled in slowly, heavy, inescapable. They hadn't inherited assets, they'd inherited a trap. I walked out while they were still reading. I sold nothing, I moved nothing. I let time and law do what anger never could. Catherine thought she'd hidden everything. She hadn't counted on her own habits, her need for order. I visit the cabin sometimes, sit where silence is enforced by statute. I don't miss the children. I miss the man I thought I was. That man is gone, and I finally understand what Catherine gave me when she left. Not loss, control.